His lips were already too close to mine when I realized I had crossed the line long before that moment. The air between us felt warm, heavy, almost sinful. I could taste his breath, sweet, slow, and dangerous, pulling me toward something I knew I shouldn't want. His hand brushed my cheek, and I swear my knees gave up. It wasn't supposed to happen like that. I wasn't supposed to tremble for a man who wasn't my husband. But his lips were right there, hovering, waiting, promising something soft and burning at the same time. And just when he leaned in, right when our mouths were about to collide. Before I tell you what happened next, please make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, share it, and stay with me. What you're about to hear is the truth I've never told anyone. I pulled back that night. Barely. Just by a breath. But inside me? Something had already sparked, small, hot, reckless. Let me take you back. To where everything truly started. The beginning of my first lie. I'm an anonymous woman living somewhere in America, late 20s, married, and lonely in ways I hated to admit. My husband, Daniel, wasn't a bad man. Just absent. Busy. Cold. He loved his career more than he loved my voice, my body, my warmth. We lived together, but we didn't live in each other anymore. I spent nights lying beside him, staring at the ceiling, wondering how two people could be inches apart but worlds away. Sometimes he slept before even asking me how my day went. Sometimes he forgot we once couldn't keep our hands off each other. I thought I was faithful because I kept my ring on. But one day, faithfulness became nothing more than a thin thread wrapped around my finger. The man who broke the thread. His name was Evan. A graphic designer my company hired for a project. Soft smile. Deep voice. The kind of man who asked how you were, and actually waited for the answer. He wasn't perfect. But he was present. He saw me. The first lie I told myself was I should have gone home. I should have walked out the moment his eyes held me too long, the moment the air changed between us, but desire has a funny way of shutting down good judgment. It replaces logic with pulse, replaces caution with curiosity. And that Thursday evening? My curiosity was starving. His repair shop was supposed to be a harmless stop, just picking up my car after work. Instead, the whole building held a warmth that wrapped itself around me the moment I stepped in. The smell of grease, metal, and his cologne mixed into something I had no business enjoying. Your car is ready, he said, wiping his hands on a towel and walking toward me with that slow, confident stride. But you look tense. Long day? It was the way he said you, soft but deep, like he was peeling into my thoughts. I'm fine, I lied. He smirked, letting those dark eyes sweep over me like he already knew the truth. You're not. Sit for a sec. I should have said no. But I sat. He stood in front of me, close enough that I could feel his body heat brush my skin. His fingers slowly lifted my chin. It was innocent, yet dangerous. Soft, yet sparking something sharp in the pit of my stomach. You need to breathe, he murmured. The room suddenly felt too small. My heart beat too loud. My throat too dry. You shouldn't look at me like that, he whispered. Like what? I tried to sound firm, but my voice cracked, the betrayal of a woman already slipping. Like you want something you're afraid to name. I didn't move. Because he was right. The first kiss, the one that ruined every line I drew. It happened fast. But it took all the air with it. He cupped my face gently, too gently for a man built like him, and brought his lips close enough that my thoughts tangled. He paused, giving me a chance to pull away. But I didn't. And when our lips touched, it was fire meeting gasoline. Slow, deep, intoxicating. I felt my knees weaken. My breath caught. My heart stumbled. I should have stopped. I should have walked away the moment I realized how easily his presence softened me, how fast my body reacted before my mind even had the chance to think. But desire has a memory, and mine remembered him too well. That afternoon, everything was supposed to be simple. A short stop at his workshop, a quick conversation, a polite goodbye. But nothing with him stayed simple. The sun was sinking against the glass windows, coloring the room in an amber glow that made him look even more dangerous to look at. He stood there, arms crossed, shirt clinging to a chest I shouldn't have stared at for even a second. Because staring was always the first mistake. "Why do you keep coming back?" he asked softly. Not accusing. Not judging. Just curious, like he already knew the answer. I swallowed. "I don't know." He stepped closer. "You do. And God help me." I did. Because the truth was ugly, addicting, and too heavy to say out loud. He made me feel alive in a way home hadn't in years. That was the beginning of the risk. The secret that grew legs. We had promised ourselves after the last time that we would stop. But promises made in breathless moments rarely survive real life. He brushed past me to grab something on the table, and even that small accidental touch sent a ripple across my spine. I stepped back. We shouldn't. Not again. He didn't touch me. He didn't need to. He just whispered, "Then why are you trembling?" And I hated how true it was. Because my body reacted before my logic. Because my heart raced louder than my guilt. Because temptation had become a language he spoke too fluently. Risk used to scare me. Now it thrilled me. A call you never want to get. Just when the tension between us thickened, my phone buzzed. My husband. My chest tightened so fast I almost dropped the phone. He was calling to ask if I'd be home soon, and if I could pick up something for dinner. My voice shook when I replied. Not because Ground finally cracked. I knew the moment I stepped into Damon's apartment that something inside me had already shifted, quietly, dangerously, and beyond undoing. The night was humid, the kind that hangs heavy on the skin. My heart was louder than my footsteps. And his door was already open, as if he'd been waiting for me, as if temptation had finally grown the courage to stop whispering and start pulling. "Close it," he said softly. I did, and that was the moment everything around me sharpened. Every sound. Every breath. Every truth I had been pretending not to face. Because I didn't come here by accident. And we both knew it. The consequences begin. "Why are you here?" Damon asked, stepping closer. He wasn't smiling. He wasn't teasing. He was studying me, like he already knew the answer and needed to hear me say it. I don't know," I whispered, though we both knew that was a lie. He raised a brow. "You do know. You've always known." His voice, deep, steady, cut through my defenses the way honesty cuts through a bandage protecting a wound. It hurts. But it also reveals what's really underneath. "I shouldn't be here," I breathed. "But you are." And that was it. The consequence. The truth I ran from in the last 3 chapters finally leaned close enough to breathe on my neck. The first break. "Your husband called me today," Damon murmured. My heart dropped. "What? Why?" My voice cracked like thin glass. "He said you've been distant, said he feels like something's wrong. He asked if I noticed anything off with you." Shame stabbed through me. My hands trembled. Because my husband had unknowingly asked the man I was falling toward if another man had noticed his wife slipping away. "And what did you tell him?" I asked, barely breathing. "I lied," Damon replied. "No, actually, I protected you." My legs weakened. Protected. Not saved. Not rescued. Protected. There's a difference, and it scared me more than anything. The emotions deepen. I should have walked away. I should have gathered whatever dignity I had left, picked up my purse, and marched out of his apartment like a woman who still remembered her vows. But instead, I stood there trembling, knowing that after everything he had done to me, after everything I let him do, I wasn't the same woman who walked in. "Come here," he whispered again, voice heavy with the promise of ruin. I should have said no. But my body didn't hear the word. The breaking point wasn't one moment. It was all the tiny moments that pushed me over the edge. The way he held my waist like it already belonged to him. The way his lips owned every excuse I tried to make. The way he tasted like forbidden joy and everything I didn't know I had been starving for. And when he kissed me again, slow, needy, claiming, I realized something frightening. I wasn't cheating out of emptiness anymore. I was cheating out of desire. He lifted me, carried me like I weighed nothing, and laid me back onto the couch we had already destroyed earlier. My breath shook. My knees weak. My voice barely my own. "Tell me to stop," he said. "I can't," I whispered. That was it. That was the moment I broke. He devoured me like a man who had waited his whole life to taste me, slow at first, then hungry, then reckless. My thoughts scattered like broken glass. My body forgot its loyalty. My breath trembled in ways I couldn't hide. And when it was finally over, when my bones felt like melted wax and my clothes were in desperate need of a washing machine, I looked in the mirror and saw the truth. I couldn't go home clean. Not physically. Not emotionally. Not spiritually. I tried to fix myself, wipe away the scent of him, the marks of him, the trembling he left behind. But nothing helped. His touch clung to me like a second skin. I sat in my car afterward, hands shaking on the steering wheel. Not because I regretted it, but because I didn't. That terrified me more than anything. The aftermath.